Good morning, everyone. I think by now you are getting the idea that sooner or later you are going to make a lecture video. Do you grimace at the thought of appearing on a video? Do the butterflies in your stomach start to fidget at the thought of facing the camera and eventually having a lot of eyes looking at your image on screen? I know. It is easy to hide behind the PowerPoint or Google slide presentation with just your voice being heard and no face at all. But let me ask you a question. How do you find video lectures where you can only hear the teacher or presenter and not seeing them? The idea of not being in the same room as your teacher is boring as it is. How much more when you don't see your teacher? Our students would most likely feel the same way if they don't see us. By now, I am hoping that I have convinced you on how it is worthwhile, maybe not absolutely necessary, but worthwhile, to have a lecture video with your image on it. But if this is not enough reason, my next best guess on why we are hesitant to appear in a video lecture, yes, we, including me, is we worry about how we look. I understand your hesitation. Believe me, I am on the same boat as you. We are scared that people will judge us despite our good intentions. Let me share with you the silver lining I sense out of this fear. Being afraid of being judged forces us to exert a little more effort on being presentable. Now, don't get me wrong. Looking good doesn't mean you have to look like you need to be somewhere extravagant. Looking good in the context that we are going to be in means that you look appropriately presentable. It seems that I have been given a very challenging topic in our InFLeX webinar series, but we are guessing that you are as curious as many of us. Yep, so let's throw in the big question. How do we look good on camera? In this video, our goal is to look good on camera. If you browse the internet, you will see a lot of tips on how to look good on camera. But in my opinion, there are only 5 essential areas we need to consider if we want to look good on camera. In the next few slides, I will share with you some points in relation to framing, lighting, angle or perspective, presentation of yourself, and connection. I call it flap C. Are you ready? Well, here goes. The first consideration is framing. And by framing, I mean where you should position yourself in the video frame. Considering that we are communicating information to our students, my advice is stay in the center of the frame. Since you will be a very small image at the lower right corner of the screen, just like how you see me now, or sometimes you will appear on the upper right corner of the screen, depending on the screen capture application you are using, there is really no need for you to follow the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is what photographers or videographers would say or would encourage us to stay a little bit to the right or a little to the left of the frame. Also, you don't leave too much space above your head. Those who have been taking videos of themselves would say that we would look good on camera if there is only about 2 fingers above our head before we hit the border of the frame. The reason for this is to allow more space for movements or gestures below your face. Nothing is really happening above your head, so a space is not necessary. More space above your head would also make you look like you're drowning, like this. I'm sure you wouldn't want to look like that. The next one is on lighting. Have you ever noticed that sometimes the image you see in a video conference or a webinar is dark and unclear, sometimes blurry? That is a case of poor lighting, and you do not look good on camera in that condition. So it is very important that when you record your video for your lecture videos, you are in a well-lighted room. You don't have to have lighting equipment. No, you don't need to buy. One way is you can face in front of windows during the day. The trick here is to have your source of light behind your camera. So if you are recording in the evening, make sure that your light comes from behind your laptop or desktop computer. Now, let me show you how lighting works. Hi, I'm in the MBM office, and in this part of the room, I don't think I'm getting a lot of good light while you are seeing me, but I think it's rather dark compared to this. I am still in the MBM office, but right now I'm facing the windows, so you're seeing me with better lighting. The next one is angle or perspective. Now, I have seen this too many times. You can say a lot of things about how I look in this picture, even though I have that cute dimple right there. You can see the holes in my nose prominently. I have my double chin emphasized, and a lot of other things you have negative biases about. But if you position your camera a little above your head or just about eye level, all the things you don't want people to see will disappear. Just like what you see in my image at the lower right corner of the screen. That is the angle we want to achieve. So don't position the camera below your face. The next one is presentation. And by this, I mean how we present ourselves. A few times I have attended online meetings that seemed like I was just talking to my family. Our classes, just like meetings, are official or professional activities, and this requires appropriate decorum. If we are recording our lecture videos, chances are this would be viewed by other audiences in the future. These lecture videos are going to be learning resources, and we are making this not just for one-time use. So my advice is, when you make your lecture videos with you on it, dress up like you would go to school to conduct your class. No need for colorful makeup. Just simple, clean, good grooming is good enough. That is, if you don't like to fuzz and putting on a little lip tint or some brow strokes. Anyway, only the upper clothes matter. Now you know what I mean. Finally, my last tip for looking good on camera is look at the camera. Maintain eye contact with your students even if you don't see them when you are recording your video. You see, it's easy for students to disengage from the lecture considering that you, as their teacher, is not there in front of them. But if you look at the camera, it will appear to them that you are connecting with them. Don't worry when at first you keep on blinking your eyelids or you keep on rolling your eyes sideways. The beauty of recorded videos is you can record and re-record until you are satisfied with your output. And of course, you can always practice, and practice to deal with this cute initial awkwardness. So, looking good on camera is not really a mystery after all. By being in the center of the frame, with the proper lighting, with the camera a little above our head to get a desirable angle, presenting yourself well by dressing up appropriately to class, and connecting with your students by looking at the camera, then you can certainly look good on camera. We are very excited to see your lecture videos very soon.